Yeah, I think it's time for a reality check when it comes to Neverwinter. Roll it. Welcome back, everyone. And I gotta be honest, even though I missed making videos every other day, it was good to step away and take a break for a few weeks. People don't realize how much work goes into making videos, at least when it comes to my videos, because they do take a lot out of me, because there's a process to it. I don't just press record and upload a video. I have to first think of the topic, then script the topic, do research on it if needed, then Photoshop any images or screeners I might be using, go through audio checks, video cuts, and in general, edit for hours on end before the video reaches you, the audience. I shit you not, I have 5-minute videos that took 24 hours to edit. Sure, I can cut the time down, but I'd rather not do that because I enjoy making beautiful videos that people can enjoy both visually and audibly and still get the information they need. It's also not that easy finding content to make every day in regards to Neverwinter. I mean, do I look like Aragon to you, who can make content about everything and anything under the Neverwinter sun? Yeah, I'm not Aragon, and that's not me because I pick and choose what I think is interesting and good enough to make a video about. I leave most of the guides and other information to everybody else for the most part, even if by doing that it actually hurts my channel and is detrimental to my sub count and view count, which it absolutely is. Trust me, if I made a guide about everything I'd have way more subs. But nah, I cater to a different type of viewer. A viewer who appreciates good ideas, theory crafting, occasional rants, the truth, and a good sense of humor. Well, the good sense of humor is up for debate because not everybody will agree with your sense of humor. Also, we have giveaways and guides, tips, and tricks sprinkled in on occasion. That's exactly what you'll get from me. So if you enjoyed that type of shit, then feel free to subscribe to me if you haven't already. Anyways, enough of that. Let's get into the main topic of this video. But before that, I just want to quickly thank all of my channel members for supporting me with monies. You are all amazing and you keep motivating me to create even more videos. If anybody else feels like supporting me just like they do, just click the join button right next to the subscription button and pick the level of support that you want to invest. But if not, that's okay too. I appreciate you being here, doesn't matter. And I do also have some awesome merch that you can also purchase from the links in the description. Here's a few viewers and friends of mine who bought my merch and actually put on or are holding some of my merch. So if you're jealous, just go get some yourself. Now that all of that is out of the way, let's get into the Neverwinter reality check, which is the topic of this video. So a new campaign is coming called the North Dark Reaches, and some of you might be excited about it. And, you know, that's cool and all, but yeah, I'm not one of those people. And I will explain why campaigns in general don't excite me. So let's begin with the obvious reasons. One reason is because I have been around a long time, since the game was released, and I have literally seen it all. And when you're around for as long as I have, getting excited about campaigns isn't really a thing, due to how repetitive all the campaigns become over time, especially in Neverwinter. I mean, what are campaigns really? In role-playing games, a campaign is a continuing storyline of a set of adventures, typically involving the same characters. The purpose of the continuing storyline is to introduce a further aspect into the game, to introduce more development, improvement, and growth of said characters. New campaigns keep players busy by doing new content to achieve new goals and, make you happy while progressing through a storyline and socializing all at once. Campaigns, regardless of when they are released, are mostly all the same in Neverwinter. They're usually time-gated content with a bunch of fetch quests and repeatables. They usually also have hunts, heroics, and new gear that is obtainable either via seals, hunts, or dungeons and trials. And there's little to no storyline involved in these campaigns to keep you engaged and know why you are doing what you are doing. Sure, there's a few cutscenes here and there, and the NPCs say a few things here and there as well, but nothing engaging that keeps you interested in paying attention to the whole story. We mostly skip it all anyways. The only thing that matters about campaigns to the player base is what new gear is being added or what new dungeon or trial is being added. That is literally it. Nothing else matters. Unless you're a role player or don't care about progression, then you find fun in anything simply by just standing in PE talking about flat earth, politics, who has the bigger PP, and whatever else your heart desires. So campaigns, as far as I'm concerned, are all copies of each other with different names, new recycle zones, and new gear. Sure, some things are not recycled, but most have been or are going to be. It's just an endless merry-go-round to keep you occupied until the next campaign comes out, with exactly the same symptoms as the previous one added to them. Sure, some campaigns have linear progression and some have multiple paths, but to me they're all the same and nothing about them ever excites me. Here's my idea about campaigns and what I think they can do to spice them up a bit. We all know that campaigns will always be the same in general, but what makes them more fun is when they add new types of content. Rewarding content and competitive content. For example, when they released the Redeemed Citadel, everyone and their mother was in Avernus running the milestones. Why is that though. Why was everybody so interested in the Redeemed Citadel? The easy answer was that it was competitive, rewarding, encouraged teamwork, and offered ways for you to make astral diamonds and lots of it. Lots of it. The Redeemed Citadel was the perfect content and one of the most engaging and best content Neverwinter has ever introduced. It wasn't only limited to a group or to a single player, but had server-wide goals that we all worked together to achieve. It had 100 unique rewards for the top 100 players in the leaderboards of each milestone, which was in itself exciting. Everybody wanted to try their luck and get into the top 100. As time went by, players had to become more creative and find better and faster ways to gather lures, gather hunts, and farm favors. Players even figured out how to do faster routes to do quests. They timed heroics to farm them quicker. They made maps of every lure location and hunt drop, and players who didn't take part in the race to get in the top 100 of each milestone farmed Avernus for hunts and made shit tons of astral diamonds by selling them to those who wanted to be in the top 100. There were so many aspects to the Redeemed Citadel. It was amazing, and we need more of that type of content. I have never seen a zone as packed as the Redeemed Citadel since dragon runs were a thing in the Well of Dragons, and since heroics were a thing in Icewind Dale to gather paradox. You might not know what I'm talking about if you're new, but veteran players, you know what I mean by paradox. So what Neverwinter needs is more Redeemed Citadels. I think Cryptic literally underestimates how attractive competitive content really is. And I'm not just talking about dungeons or trials either. I mean in-zone competitive content. Players love competing for rewards, so why not add that competitiveness in campaigns? People eat that shit up. What? Fuck yes, count me in, I want some of that. I want more competitive content, please, and less running around turning in quests to NPCs who don't even care, with a storyline that doesn't even exist to get items that don't even matter. Even campaigns need an exclusive new type of event, or content added to them like the Redeemed Citadel. That would just make everybody happy. End of story. And speaking of competitive content, whatever the fuck happened to PvP? Hello? Hello? Is anybody out there? Yeah, I know. The usual thing people will say will be, screw PvP. Who cares about PvP? PvP is dead. Yeah, PvP crawled under the bridge and died a long time ago. Yeah, and you'd be absolutely right. PvP is dead. And Cryptic killed it. Listen. I'm no PvPer, but I understand how PvP was an important aspect of Neverwinter, even if there's people out there who refuse to see that. Just because you didn't like it, it doesn't make it irrelevant. What made PvP irrelevant was the devs not caring enough about it to make it a better place. Let me remind you newer and older players out there that PvP used to thrive. PvP was the funnest content in the game for a long time. PvP had thousands of fans regardless if the game dismissed them and never listened to them. They had a place in Neverwinter. Can you imagine only liking PvP and being forced to participate in PvE content to actually be able to play PvP? Because you needed to farm items, gears, enchantments, and whatever else to be stronger for PvP, but you could only get those things from PvE content. So look at it from the PvPer's point of view. Imagine 23 modules went by and you had the same 2 zones in all those 23 modules. That would be the equivalent and the exact same thing as having 23 campaigns, and half of them look exactly like the Well of Dragons, while the other half look exactly like Icewind Dale. That's exactly what PvP went through. They had the same 2 maps for PvP for like 16, 17, 18 modules. I can't remember exact amount of modules until they added, that new space map or whatever. And there were so many things wrong with PvP. They had to deal with broken gear, broken stats, broken mechanics, and the lack of content for the PvP community. I mean, they tried to make it better. They posted on forums, yelled in Cryptic streams, created Discord, sent personal message to devs. They tried it all, but sadly Cryptic just let it die. And to be honest, it blows my mind. PvP was different. It added something special to the Neverwinter world. Personally, when I was bored of doing the same old repetitive dungeons and trials, I'd go to do PvP. And trust me, it was exciting and frustrating all at once. But at least PvP offered emotions. If a game or specific content can offer you any type of emotion, I think that's a good thing. PvP offered it all. Excitement, frustrations, anger, happiness, butterflies in your stomach, a huge pee-pee, a small pee-pee, inverted things, whatever. Here, let me show you an example of how fun PvP was.
Okay. Bye-bye. Oh my god, there's so many people. Oh, I got you. Oh, the TR goes down.
Fatality. Jax wins. Fatality.
Yeah. See that? That is fun content, and you can't deny it even if you're not a PvP fan. If PvP was in a better place, I guarantee you Neverwinter daily numbers would be much higher. People always underestimated PvP, and PvP had a huge following, believe it or not, and PvPers were even more fanatic about Neverwinter than you are. Trust me, it's a true story. I've seen it in front of my eyes. But sadly, PvP is dead and only on life support when a few friends like Minimi, Mitrix, Real Suin, Bob, and a few others gather together in Minimi streams on Twitch and PvP for fun. And maybe a few other groups scattered across Neverwinter do the same thing. It's sad to see. And I do hope Neverwinter brings PvP back and makes it a better place, because even if I never cared for PvP myself, it doesn't mean it shouldn't be here. I mean, I do have some ideas of how they can make PvP better. You know, reintroduce it and bring PvPers back, but I'll just make a separate video about that so I can completely focus on that topic. They at least deserve that from me. So as you can see, guys, there's so much wrong with Neverwinter, and I refuse to turn a blind eye to those facts. There is so many things I can talk about, but that would just make this video 10 hours long. So I just chose to talk about campaigns and PvP, which was a huge portion of Neverwinter content. So yeah, it's reality check time, guys and girls, and the sad reality is that no matter what they have done since Module 16, the game is not growing. The player base is not growing, and nothing has changed at all. The game is bleeding out, and it doesn't matter how many dragons they added or how many campaigns they introduced, how balanced the classes are, how many more items are in each campaign, how many EPs they changed, and how many cryptic streams they make. The numbers don't lie, and you don't even need numbers. You can see it in the game yourself. It's all around you. I remember Neverwinter Discord servers used to be jam-packed with players. Now it's just a handful in every server. Sometimes it's just nobody at all. So something needs to change drastically. They need to do something radical and turn it all around. Nothing they have done until this very moment has worked. Let's just face reality, okay, everybody? Let's just be honest with each other, even if that reality is a painful one. This game is going nowhere fast, and the only thing keeping Neverwinter alive is us, the people who refuse to give up on it, the believers like me and you. But how long has it been since you woke up and were feeling excited to play Neverwinter? Only players who would be excited is new players, but in time, they also figure it out. The only way Neverwinter will see growth is if Neverwinter is remade all over again. Neverwinter 2 with a new engine, new ideas, and a fresh start. If not, we will just stay in Neverwinter in its current state and slowly watch it fade into nothingness. It's inevitable, no matter how hard the new EP and Cryptic tries to make it better or make changes. I mean, I love Neverwinter, and if you're watching this video, you most likely do too. Or, used to love it at some point until they broke your heart. People can pretend everything is okay all they want, and that everything is going according to plan, but it's really not. Neverwinter is simply doomed to go through many more modules with a very low player base and barely hang on until its grip finally fails. It could take years for that to happen, but it will happen at some point. The question is when. So yeah, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Galactic here. Peace out. Stay safe.
'Cause you're so fucking cool. You're just waiting.